What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, I have a special guest with me, and today we're going to be ranking all Zetas for the arena. So please, without further ado, please welcome WinKillerInc from the Shattered Order podcast. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on. I am very excited to talk about some of these Zetas.
I know, yeah, I've done a couple live shows with you guys, but I've never had you guys on the channel before.
That is true, yeah. You were on earlier this year, actually, so if you guys want to go back and check that out, go for it.
Yeah, there's two people for the Shadow Order podcast. We got WinKillerInc and Goodnight Punk. GMP and I are going to be doing a video for ranking Zetas for Territory Wars here later on in the week, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, I just have Wink here, and today we're going to be going over the arena Zetas, like I said. All right, so what we're going to do differently for this ranking is usually I have a whole graphic of all tier 4 Zetas, but because of some issues with what's going on with the meta, there is a ton of Zetas in tier 4 now. So we're just going to talk about the new Zetas that have come out since the last video that I did back in January, I believe, and just what the new Zetas are in tier 4 and why they're not very good. So let's look at tiers 1 and 2 first, and the first thing you're going to see is tier 1 heavily dominated by the Sith. You've got characters like Traya, Nihilus, you have Vader, Maul, Palpatine, Scion, and then you have Jedi Training Rey and BB-8 in Tier 1. What do you think about the dominance of Sith in Tier 1 of the Arena Zeta rankings?
I think I'm not surprised just for the fact that, I mean, they are ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I think that the most important Zeta, like on Traya, is not her leader ability, it's that unique ability.
Yeah.
Because just, you know, it's the one that cleans the debuffs at the beginning of the Sith turns. It is just absolutely insane. You can't ability block them, you can't stun them,
Yeah.
and that is a huge changer.
Yeah, now I don't have that Zeta on her. Yeah, I'm working on it. Hopefully I get enough Omegas from Territory Wars today, and I can finally Zeta that unique for her, because man, without that unique, her Sith teams are struggling right now. And you guys, yeah, without the cleanse of the debuffs, especially for finding other Palpatine teams with those shocks and stuns, it's really hard to get past those teams. But I do have a Zal lead that I'm using now, and I don't know if you've seen Arnold and Mobile's video for Darth Maul and his Zeta lead with the Sith.
I have not seen that, but I did just Zeta Darth Maul this week.
Nice.
You can listen to our podcast, find out how I feel about that, but I feel like I wasted one. But my Darth Maul's only gear 11, and he's not very good, so
Yeah,
that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, try if you're trying a Sith assassin with him.
Yeah, my Sith Assassin's like gear 7, so no.
Oh, there's your reason why it's not working so well.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty heavily dominance by the Sith in Tier 1, and of course with Tier 2, Commander Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, they finally been dethroned. They're not those top tier Zetas that you really want to invest in anymore for Arena, which is kind of sad. And we've got some supplemental Zetas here for your Sith and Empire teams, like Grand Admiral Thrawn and his unique, and the Imperial Probe Droid. What do you think about the overall rankings for Tier 2?
For the overall rankings on Tier 2, I don't know. There's not really anyone that I disagree with too much. I really haven't messed with Probe Droid, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on him. Are there still a lot of people using... I mean, is First Order still being used that much?
So, First Order are a solid kind of anti-meta team. They can beat some of your Sith teams, but you do usually have to bring in someone like Thrawn to help really boost them to that level. They're not very good on defense, but they are a pretty good anti-meta team.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Just requires a lot of Zetas, and I don't know. My problem is a team that requires that many Zetas, I'm not sure that I would have them quite tiered that high.
Right.
Just because it kind of forces you into that one single path, and you can't really diverge off of that a little bit, which is something that I think is pretty important for tiering them.
Yeah. No, the First Order have kind of always been something there, just a team that you could use to kind of counter the meta, but it's definitely not something that you really want to focus farming on like you do with your Tier 1 characters.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, Imperial Probe Droid and Grand Admiral Thrawn, if you're running like a Palpatine, Vader kind of hybrid team with Sith and Empire, they both find some pretty good usage there. If you Wampa can get some nice usage with your Darth Vaders as well, because of all those dots. It just turns them into an absolute monster.
And
But
he really doesn't even need the Zeta, is what's kind of funny. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just how good he is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bonus. A lot of these other characters, you really do need the Zeta for the team to perform that well on defense and arena. But Wampa, I'm not sure that his Zeta's there. However, I do think it's that good.
Yeah, and one thing we should have pointed out at the beginning of this video, my fault for not bringing it up, is we're just focusing on the Zeta abilities for this. We're not focusing on the overall characters. Yeah. These are Zetas that, with investing in these Zetas, these are going to boost the viability of these characters. Like, without the Zeta unique on Darth Treya, you're not really gonna find... she's not going to be as good. Like I said, she has problems fighting against like those Palpatine teams because she can't cleanse those debuffs. But once you get that Zeta on her unique, it's beautiful and it makes her really competitive.
Oh, on CLS, what Zetas?
So yeah, this is something else I should have brought up. I'm very bad at bringing things up today. If you don't see a specific Zeta listed there, that means all of the Zetas for that character are in that tier. So
okay,
both Zetas on Kylo Ren Unmasked, both all 3 Zetas on Commander Luke Skywalker, anything like that. Yeah, and same with R2-D2, both of his Zetas.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I don't disagree then. Yep.
All right. So moving on to Tier 3, and last time I did this, Tier 3 had about double the Zetas that we have listed here right now, and yeah, it's a bit of a problem. I'm looking at some of these. I don't even think I should have Boba Fett listed in Tier 3, but I mean, your Night Sisters have fallen like a rock. They were top tier last time I did this. They were great for countering Jedi training Rey. They were pretty much the dominant meta if you were facing a full arena of Jedi training Rey. But now, they're tier 3 at best. I mean, they've just been destroyed by Palpatine.
Yep. For sure. So you mentioned Boba Fett. That's one that I was going to bring up. I'm not sure he's quite tier 3 worthy for the most part.
Yeah.
He's still definitely usable. I think the Night Sisters are all still worthy of tier 3 because, I mean, I've still got some Night Sisters in the top 20 of my arena. They're still hanging in really well. However, I kind of think that I would probably move Old Ben up to tier 2. There is actually a team that handles my Treya team actually without too much effort in my arena. That's a CLS lead with R2, Han, Thrawn, and Old Ben with a Zeta, and that Zeta Old Ben can be really frustrating whenever, you know, he regains the taunt because it's not always that easy to have 2 people who can remove a buff. So I think that Zeta is actually a little bit better than tier 3.
And you're talking about the Zeta on his taunt, where it gives him taunt again when it expires, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure, because he has 2 Zetas. He's got that and the Strike Me Down.
Heal whenever he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah, that one is actually, I think I had it on tier 2 last time, because that taunt, it was a great counter to Thrawn, because Thrawn would fracture once he has that taunt on, and the taunt would still be sitting there, and there's nothing you can do. You just basically have to sit there and fight through Old Ben, because once he's fractured, he's not moving, so that taunt's not expiring on its own. You have to figure out another way to get rid of it.
Yep. And then the problem is you have to strike him down, and then you give turn meter and buffs to everybody, and it can really put you in a bad spot. So, yeah, I like that Zeta a lot.
Yeah, those 2 Zetas on him work great in tandem with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other Zetas here that you have opinions on?
Not particularly. I think they're all pretty good. The Race Scavenger one, it's definitely useful. Daze is great, but I think the problem is I don't know that she's optimal on an RJT team in Arena to begin with, and then you're probably better off putting in someone who has an AoE Daze. Like, I'd rather have Holdo over her if I'm running RJT probably because she has an AoE Daze.
You know, I've completely forgotten about Holdo.
Everybody forgets about Holdo. She's way underrated.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's Holdo. That's why everybody forgets about her.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I completely forgot about Rose, too.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, I'm going to have to... Does Holdo have a Zeta? I don't think Holdo has a Zeta.
No, she does have a Zeta, but it's not really required.
So, anything else in Tier 3 you want to discuss?
Not particularly. I think that probably covers it.
Okay, cool. So this is the last...
hold on. Actually, sorry.
What you got?
Asajj and Mother Talzin both have leader Zetas. And you have kind of all their Zetas on here. Which one would you prefer for running in Arena?
Definitely the leadership on Talzin. So, since we've got a lot of new Zetas, this is part of the reason why Sith are so dominant, is we've had a faction rework with Bounty Hunters, and there was 5 new Zetas, 2 on Bosk, IG-88, Greedo, and Danger all got Zetas. And then we got the introduction of the solo characters, so Emphas Nest, Kira, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Vandor Chewie, Young Lando, Young Han, and L337. They all have Zetas, but none of these are good for Arena. And I think this is part of the reason why we have such a dominance of Sith, and why there's so few characters in tiers 1 through 3 now, is because Sith have just made everything so obsolete.
Okay, so there's one point I want to disagree with. I don't think all of these are bad for Arena. I think Nest can actually be really good for Arena. Because Nest is kind of a standalone character, you can still use her with, like, I have people using her with Sith and lots of various combinations just because of how frustrating she is. She can fit in anywhere. And the Zeta allows her to ignore taunt. And if you're going up against a Sith team, you know, like, if she is... if she has pain on her and she attacks Sion, she's reducing his cooldown. So being able to avoid taunt could be really useful.
That's fair. That was probably the only Zeta here that I thought about maybe putting on the ranking list somewhere. The rest of them just no.
Yeah, I think I would at least move her up to tier 3.
Okay.
But other than that, I agree with the rest of them. They're all just...
Yeah, and I mean, CG, when they brought out the Bounty Hunter rework, they said that that was going to be focused for PvE, and that's what we found so far. They're now dominant in territory battles, they're great in the Sith raid, and they're just terrible in PvP, and at least they were upfront about that. So we shouldn't be surprised to find that Bounty Hunters are just terrible in PvP. But these scoundrels with solo, I was really hoping that, you know, maybe we could find something with them in PvP, but not in Arena. Territory Wars, yes, but not in Arena.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, it's
too
definitely
many resources required to make them halfway viable. So no.
Yeah, it's like another first order faction. You need a lot of Zetas on them to really invest them to make them work.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. So anything else you want to cover with the Zetas in Arena?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. It seems like any of these teams, the way that CG's kind of shifted the meta, like, synergy teams are really important. You almost have to have synergy teams. There's not a whole lot more of mixing and matching other than that Rex, Mother, Talzin, Wampa team.
Oh yeah.
You really kind of have to pick a faction and go with it. And each faction really does require, 3 to 4 Zetas to be really good and competitive in Arena. So I kind of think that's a plus. I actually really like that that's kind of where things have landed.
Yeah, we don't see the plug and play characters so much anymore.
Yeah,
that was a problem with Commander Luke. You could just basically plug him onto any team and go from 0 to hero.
Yep, pretty much. Not that way anymore, though.
Nope. At least for now, until we get Jedi Luke in the game.
That's true. Indeed.
Maybe, or at least maybe we'll get a Jedi rework with him. That'd be nice.
Cross your fingers.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Make Jedi great again.
I mean, we don't have there's not a movie coming out for a while, so there's plenty of time to get that rework in.
So, anything else you want to bring up here, Wink?
Nope, not really.
All right.
I think that covers it.
All right, so guys, that is it for this rankings. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys haven't checked out the Shattered Order podcast yet, there is going to be a link to it down below. But Wink, tell us how we can find the Shattered Order podcast.
You can find it on iTunes or Stitcher. Just search Shattered Order. You can go to shatteredorder.com, or our Discord is discord.me/shatteredorder. You can find anything you want about us or contact us at any of those spots.
All right, and where do you guys do your live? You guys do live streams, and you guys do that on Twitch, correct?
Yes, we twitch.tv/shatteredorder. You can find us there. We live stream generally on Fridays, sometimes on Thursdays. Generally 2.5 hour show. We don't do any gameplay, but we just talk, about the news and everything that's coming up and what we've been testing and stuff like that. So check it out.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. A big thank you to all my patrons for their monthly donations. Thanks again for watching. I will talk to you guys later.